Hello everyone, it is Sammy. I have come back with another stitch with me today. Thank you to everyone joining me. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. So I have been getting up early, as I said, for the past couple of days actually. I'm trying to readjust my light. Give me a moment. Because I'm trying to get it out of the way of the camera, but also make it to where you have some good light. So I have done a number of stitches since my last recording. Let me move the camera back over here. There we go. And I got quite a bit done. I did something like almost 1,200 stitches yesterday alone. But a lot of it was the white. I've done already 451 this morning to finish off all of this white right here. So it was really fast because I had it to where it was literally just one color left. Let me make sure that you guys can see here. Let's back this out just a little bit. Refocus. There we go. Okay. So I've done like this entire diagonal here. And I am now coming up to here to finish these stitches up here. Let me move my mic just a little bit. It's gonna make a sound while I get it situated. There we go. So I changed back to my original mic. It's not my headset mic. I realize that my voice is different depending on which mic I use. And since I am actually doing the regular tent stitch, I'm not doing single strand, I'm doing the 2-strand. You might actually be able to hear the stitching, so I've switched back for the time being. So I'm going to work on these 2 blocks here, and there's a good number of confetti, especially as I get over to here. It starts really becoming confetti. So we will go from there. But this is basically finishing out that portion of the window right here, and then the dragon's eye ridge and head is coming in right here. Like this is his horn, so here's her horn. So we're really starting to bring in the dragon right here, and I think that's why there's a whole bunch of confetti on this side, is because we're going to have that whole coloration of the horn and the back of the head and neck coming in here. I know it's like, well, I do this again. I redid my little things again. I know, I just did it. And I ended up switching this, so I have the needle on this side and then the thread on this side. And that was originally a mistake on my part because of how I put the fabric on, the felt on the back. But what I did is I ended up using, let me flip this over here. I ended up using some self-adhesive, what do you call them? Laminating sheets. So it doesn't use a laminator, it's just a self-adhesive sheet. And so I printed everything off and, you know, put the laminating sheet on this side, and then I put the felt down on the back because they're printed with 2 of these. So kind of like this, you know, obviously this way. But they're printed side by side, and then I cut them out. But I had put the felt down and then put the second sheet on it, and when I did the first set, I realized I had done it backwards. So I ended up accepting that and setting it up this way. So of course, you know, I cut them out, which gave me a nice clean edge on this side. But then of course, this whole side was open, and then I had to kind of fold the felt back so that I could put in the hole punches. And then I just used some regular Scotch tape here to hold it together in different areas. But then this gives me, you know, a nice place for needles. The needles are kept in place by the plastic in the back. I don't have a possibility of accidentally poking myself. And there's nothing sticky back here per se. I haven't seen any residue coming off because it was actually attached to the felt first. So far, you know, I've only had it for about 2 days. So far, it's actually been working fairly well. The only issues I have had are usual issues regarding pulling from skiing, where it bunches up and causes issues. Which is why I don't have them clipped together right now. I don't have them like have a ring on, because I have one here and I put DTD for Drive Through Dragon on it to remind me these are from my Drive Through Dragon pattern. I was thinking about putting a ring through here, but I think it would actually make it harder for me to use, so I've left them loose. And I didn't even, on the one back here where it's not a full sheet, I didn't bother putting in hole punches of the extras. And you can kind of see the crease, because what I ended up doing is I would fold it over like this and then use that to hole punch the two holes together. And then in order to get the 3-hole punch to work, I would actually end up folding it kind of like this, and then kind of moving it along, and then folding, rolling. So it ends up being a lot crinkly and wrinkly, but it works, right? Alright, so enough of my blabbering. Let's go ahead and get this color in, 3078. Oh, I did try to set up a little bit so that I have needles ready to go for this section. And since it is going to be a little bit confetti heavy, I realized that, you know, having needles set up would be a good thing. I ended up going through like 5 strands of white, maybe 6 just in this section alone, and it's literally almost all white. 3865. So that was a lot of fun, you know, doing, as I said, I ended up doing about 1100 stitches yesterday, and then I did 450 this morning, just finishing off all that white. Okay, so now we gotta go in and pick and find all of these. Let's turn the light just a tad so that hopefully it picks up the stitch sounds. Trying to find where I am at. There we go. Because again, it's a little difficult to find where the white fabric is compared to the white stitches. So trying to find those holes. Okay, so I've done these. No, I don't want that. done those. So now I need to go over here. And do these right here. Oh, yeah, I'm preparing to return to work tomorrow. I've been getting up at not quite my usual time. I'd usually be up at 3:30 in the morning to be at work at 4. I've actually been waking up naturally at 4:30. So, you know, I told my dad that last night, that, you know, I've been up since 4:30, because he had been up since 4:30, and I'm like, yeah, I hear you, I've been up since 4:30 myself. He goes, yeah, but you should be able to sleep in on your day off, you know, on a weekend day. And I'm going, well, I'm trying to prepare to return to work, so I need to get back into my morning routine, not staying up late. Which he understood. He had asked me if there was anything that could be done about my, you know, stopping the dizziness spells, and I said no. We've already done everything that we can, because I did have somebody, I don't know, a little over a week ago on one of my videos where I had commented about the dizziness. And they said that they were having similar issues and wanted to know what it was. And I don't mind saying, I do have multiple sclerosis. And the dizziness is my primary symptom. I was diagnosed almost, 11 years ago now. I was thinking 2016, but it wasn't. It was 2014 is when I was diagnosed. But talking with my neurologist and telling him that I have had these symptoms since I was a teenager, on and off, we actually suspect that I have actually had this since I was a teenager. So, and to the one person who had asked, and I responded to him, I said, and I will recommend to everyone who is having any type of health issue, to be your own advocate. In my case, I had a primary care doctor who was my advocate. And when the dizziness started and would not let up, he was the one who pushed me to not just assume it was a migraine or, you know, my migraines returning, anything like that, which we have since found out is also part of the MS, more than likely. To find out what it is, go to the specialist, go and make sure nothing is wrong. And he admitted that, you know, he doesn't know. He did what he could do. And when it didn't work, he advised me to go to the specialist. And I did. Even though I was sure it was just migraines playing a part, but it had knocked me down. He kept pushing me to go. And after everything was through, they had verified there was nothing wrong with my ears or my nose or my throat. And I got sent to the neurologist. I think I messed up there. The neurologist is who ended up actually diagnosing me. And it was the neurologist who told me, you know, this is acting just like MS. And it was. I ended up getting all of the tests, the MRI and the spinal tap, in order to verify it. Even though I was insistent it wasn't, it was. And I was in the middle of a flare at the time, so they were actually able to diagnose me pretty quickly because of that, because I was showing active activity, active immune activity in the brain. But definitely be your own advocate. Don't just assume something. Don't just take the doctor's word for it, because some doctors will not advocate for you. Be your own advocate. If you feel that something is wrong, get it checked out. And there's just times, like this past month, that I have a number of factors happen all at once that will re-trigger those symptoms and knock me down. Luckily, I have not had any more damage to the brain. I have been fairly stable in the actual progression of the disease, thankfully. I have not had any other progression or actual disease flare-ups since I was diagnosed in 2014. But I do find that in particular weather patterns, when the weather suddenly changes, stress, all of those lovely things can really affect. Sorry, I'm looking for the next stitch. I think I'll go down here and then cut it off. Can really affect me. And then that will actually knock me down for a little bit. And sometimes it's a couple of hours. So if we have a monsoon come through during the summer, when we go from blistering heat, not as bad as, say, Phoenix, Arizona, but we go from heat till we get, an afternoon monsoon storm come through, and the temperature will drop like 20 degrees. I might not be doing so well when it drops. Or it might make me better, because the heat can actually affect me too. And that's why, just take it a day at a time. And that's why I said I'm going to stop fighting it. I'm going to stop fighting myself of trying to go, I'm not dizzy, and just relax into it and realize, yes I am, and I just need to relax, because once I started doing that this time, I healed faster. I was able to just go. Enjoy life in the moment. Even if I was all dizzy and not able to drive. But I did get a decent amount of stitching done. So, yeah, I told Dad that there's really nothing else that we can do. The damage is already done. Alright, so it's going into the wrong stitch there. Thankfully, I have not had people go, oh, you need to do this, or, you know, this will cure MS, or no. I have thankfully not had any of that. I know it comes from good intentions, from cases I have seen of people getting those kinds of comments. But it's also usually not helpful because, I think I'll go back down here. It's not helpful because it's not usually proved to help. And it's also very individual. Oh, wrong one. So, just because it helped person A over here who also has MS doesn't mean it will help me or help anybody else, because each person's condition is different. I have issue with sudden temperature changes, and if I get too hot, I will get dizzy. But, oh, actually, I don't want to do that one. I won't do that one there. Come on, there we go. Let's go down here. But somebody else may have a completely different set of triggers, and also a different set of things for them. So, you know, thankfully I haven't gotten any of those responses, but there are people in the groups I'm in for MS that have, and it's very frustrating. Like there's, speaking of which, there's one woman who is like me only in the sense that her main visible symptom, did I put that in the wrong spot? I think I did. Her main visible symptom is being off balance and being dizzy. Yeah, I'm in the completely wrong spot. There we go. Well, she ended up getting a sweatshirt made, because she's actually much worse along than I am from her story. So she got a sweatshirt made that she wears along with a baseball cap, I think it was a baseball cap made, that says, "I'm not drunk, I have MS." Because her normal walk, due to it, makes her look drunk because she cannot walk a straight line. And there were a number in the MS community that absolutely loved it and created their own for their own reasons. And then sadly, somebody took it as a business idea, I guess, because it's now being sold by other people, by other companies, if you look on the internet, to be MS advocates, you know, disability advocates. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, except in this case it kind of is. because they're not looking at it as an individual. They're looking at it as, oh, we can make money off of this. You know, people with MS will buy this, and some do. I haven't. But they're looking at it as a money-making opportunity. And that has since, that entire phrase has ended up backfiring. Not just on the MS community, but on the original person who created it in the first place. Because now it's seen as just a money-making scheme. It's sad. She ended up having to stop wearing it because people were trying to tell her, oh, you just bought that online. When she was the one who originally created it. Did I? I did. I have one stitch here that is missing. So I've got this light shadow, so the yellows are all kind of making this yellow, like yellow shadow on the stitch. So I didn't see that I didn't do it. Yeah. So that is this stitch right here. And I'll frog that one, and I'll have to come back to it. Looks like I had a friend who has a service dog. And we have talked several times before about the benefits and perils of having a service dog. He had said that I should get one, and I said no. I am not far enough along in the progression of my disease, of the MS, to require one. Where am I going here with this? Right here. All of these pinned colors are kind of obscuring stitches. So now we've talked before about that, and I've just been like, no, I'm not gonna get a service dog, at least not right now, because I don't need one. You know, I'm just going to slip it under some stitches on the back. Oh, sorry. And we've also commiserated on the prevalence of quote-unquote fake service animals. And I do say quote-unquote because, at least in my state, the service animal does not have to have a certification. You know, per ADA in the US, a certification is not required to be a service animal. But in my state, they are not required to wear a vest, and they are not required to have any identifying thing, I guess you could say, collar, vest, whatever, that they are a service animal. Well, the one thing that people seem to take advantage of is because per the ADA, sorry, my hair got in the way there. Per the ADA, a business cannot deny somebody for having a service dog. They cannot even ask them what their disability is. And there's only 3 questions that somebody can actually ask. Did that even take? Oh, that didn't even look like that took. Put another one in there because I think I might have done a straight instead of a... Yeah, there we go. But because of the fact that many states like mine don't require such things, and you can just go online and get a dog vest that says service dog on it, there are people who are now taking that, getting one of these vests, sometimes even not that, and passing off their pet as a service dog. And I just want to note that there's a lot of talk about that. You can find many other videos online. But I recently had an incident, the first one that I had personally seen, of somebody very clearly with a non-trained dog who is clearly not a service dog, because they do have to be well trained to be a service dog. You go into a store and seemingly have absolutely no care for what their animal did. And it's really, really sad, because it affects people who need service animals for whatever reason that helps them to actually live their life, and gives all of them a bad rap. Because per the ADA, that service animal has to be under control and well behaved at all times. And the business owner can ask you to leave if the animal is not under control or is misbehaving. And that is not against ADA. So we were at Walmart. We were doing some of our grocery shopping. And as we're going through produce, up near the front of the store, this woman comes in with her dog. A little dog. Not a Chihuahua. I think it looked more like a Pomeranian, but I could be wrong. And I watched this woman continuously pull her dog. Now, the dog was on a leash, but continuously pull her dog, going, come on, come on, come on. And the dog was pooping. So the dog pooped from the entranceway of the store, past produce, luckily not in produce, but past produce, and then all the way down like 3 lanes of the grocery section. Well, she was in, where was I? Yeah, I was over here, so I'll put it over here. She was in, going right by the clothing. And as I went to go find an employee to flag down so that this poop could get cleaned, because I realized they're going to have to completely re-sanitize those floors, because this is right outside grocery, my husband followed her. And he ended up reporting to security later that they had to go verify on the cameras, of course. But she stopped because the dog went pee all over the one rack of clothes. Literally lifted its leg and peed on the clothes. And she, according to my husband, watched the dog pee on the clothes, and then once the dog was done, continue walking. Didn't, move the clothes, didn't do anything. Just watch the dog pee on the clothes and then continue walking. Like nothing was wrong. And we checked out. As they had security, they had her at the front of the store because she had walked to the back of the store for something. And we were checking out and security was talking to her. And the employees were really upset. And they're like, we shouldn't be allowing any dogs in the store at all. And my mind was just like, even if this is a service animal, that is completely inappropriate behavior. Now, you are required to have control of your service animal, and that means taking it out to go potty before you go into a public area. So, yeah, it was not a good experience. I have not seen her since. But to me, that was a blatant non-service animal. And even if it was, she was irresponsible to allow the dog to do that. I don't know what happened. We were kind of hoping that she would be made to buy the clothes that her dog ruined. But you know how things probably are. They probably just wrote it off and didn't force her to buy them. She may have gotten banned from that moment, if they can even do that. Whoa, I just hit the phone. Sorry about that. So yeah, it was very disheartening. And I know there's been quite a bit of talk about fake service animals and people getting upset about it. And I've been like, well, we do need to kind of be careful, because if we make things too hard to get a service animal, then it's actually going to harm the people that need it the most. Which is true. But I had never actually seen that in person before. And just the amount of audacity that this woman had, I have a loop on this, to do that was just shocking to me. Now, I've seen others that were clearly not service dogs, but were kept in control, like the toy chihuahuas. I walked by a woman who had one of those in her purse. The dog literally looked like a puppy. But it was under control and it wasn't barking. I didn't think anything of it, just like, you have one of those dogs. Because I personally don't like those teeny tiny dogs that, I think they call them teacup chihuahuas because they literally are no bigger than a teacup. But I didn't say anything because the dog was under control. I also saw one guy with a large German Shepherd come into Walmart. And he had that dog on a very short leash with a vest on. And just by the way that he was acting with the dog, I could tell that that dog was either a true service dog to him or was it full training. No, which I have no problem with. It was, yeah, that one, it was just like, wow. Just, wow. And it's for reasons like that, for the issues that it has caused to those that have service animals and need their service animals, that I will not get one unless I absolutely need it. One, because, there's other people out there that do need them. I'm not to the point where I need it. And two, because I don't want to deal with the harassment that some of these people that have service animals get because of this prevalence. And I apologize for the rant. I realize that, I did a video several weeks ago where I had gone on a rant about the same thing, and then I decided that you guys didn't need to hear it. And this time I think I will just leave it in the video because it is a valid rant. And if you want to skip over it, I'll understand. But as someone who does have a disability myself and who advocates for people to try to work with their own disability, to come to understand it, and to get the help that they need, even though I don't have a service dog, the fact that people who do need service dogs are getting abuse because of people who abuse the service dog policies is, well, it's a trigger for me. It just drives me nuts. Okay, now we're getting into the real confetti here. Yeah, 2 stitches of one color, a few stitches of another color. Let's see. I don't know whether I want to do... I should probably finish. Oop, sorry, I hit my light. I should probably finish this block and this one. So let's start with that color there, 155. Oh, I actually don't have a needle on this one. Oh, my bad. Let's see. Let me out here. Now, so I think I'm going to actually finish out these blocks, these partial blocks here, and then I will start back up here. Now, this is from where I was doing a diagonal before, and I was doing cross country, but there's my original diagonal line. And this is actually a page line right here. So, I think actually the end of the page is right here. So what I may do from, when I move this over, because I'll finish out this page probably right here, and then I'll move everything over, and then I'll probably start up here, and I'll just work to the page line, and then go across. I don't know yet. That may change. I may change my mind when I get there, but I don't want to be doing, full diagonal across the entire piece. I've seen some people do that where they literally work from the top left corner of the piece all the way to the bottom right corner of the piece. And they just go all the way across, all the way across, all the way across. And I don't think I can do that. Oh, come on. Just does not want to go down into that hole. So I'm using the number 26 needles. I did not switch over to the number 28 needles, although I find, at least on the unicorn piece, the 28 needles seem to go through this 25 count better. I've left the 26 needles on this one. One, because it will give me a way to have needles on both projects, because I have the paper set up for both projects, and then I can have needles with ready to go pieces of floss going for both projects. But then also I feel like I'm using what I have bought, because I did buy 100 of these number 26, and then I bought 100 of the 28. And it's not that bad, it's just that sometimes when there's already thread in that hole, getting the needle to go down into that hole can sometimes get a little difficult. All right, I need to take a drink. I'm on my second cup of coffee for the day. Yep. Come on. Come on. There we go. Just did not want to slide. And I put that vertically. Let's see if I can back it out. Nope, of course I can't. Pick it out. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. I have a small amount of thread floss left, so I'm gonna get in a couple more stitches here. No. See, I was able to back that out that time. I was one off. I need to be on the other side of that grid line. Okay, now let's go ahead and pin this off. I can pin it right into the next place I'm going to put it. I do have some pin stitches that I had placed that after the fact I was not happy that I had placed them there. Mainly because I ended up putting white over the top of them. And I don't even know if I can find one where that was the case now. I think it's right here, but that actually looks like a silver. But there was one, and it may have been right in here somewhere, so it may just actually give some other definition, where I had one of these dark colors pinned off, and I ended up putting a white thread right over the top of it. And I was just like, oh god, that's gonna show through. But now I can't find it, so I guess it doesn't, right? Okay, so we've got those. And we have these right here. Yeah. So then we will go back up here. Where was I? Because this is right here. This is the page line. Okay, so I want to go here. Yeah, I'll finish this one right here. See, I'm getting confused. I said, you know, well, I want to do this, and then I got completely confused as to what I was going to do, what I had planned on doing. Another one I don't have on a needle. So I prepared some of this, not all of it. All right. See, it kind of bunches up here, and that's why I'm leaving it kind of loose leaf so that I can reach into the back and pull it on out. I'm also not waxing any of these. I'm just not taking the time to do it. That's all. Okay, let's see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's that one. So it's right here. Oh, I've got a stitch there. This one's the one that's open. See, it was kind of hard to find. I know that's why many people like going stitch by stitch. And it's why I started doing the stitch by stitch originally. But to be honest, I like the speed of the cross country. Come on, gotta get back down in there. And I like just doing a thread until it's done. I don't know, we'll see. I may end up going back to parking eventually. Yeah, so I'll just put this under on the back side. Snip it off. Nope. There we go. 782. Now, I don't think I had prepared for this section of the pattern, so that's why I don't have needles on these colors. Oh, come on. What the? There we go. Let's pull in one of the other colors. Uh-oh. I pulled my thread that I had just pulled out off when I picked up the organizer and moved it off. They went with the other threads. Okay. Let's go here. Got these two right here. Since I'm doing a loop start on this one. There we go. You can do it this way. And then a diagonal up. Come on. There we go. And then I'll just slide it underneath and clip it off. And this one, that's 779. Grab another needle. It's this one right here that we want. It's going to be a pain to get off. Because it stuck with the rest of the floss. There's times where I don't pick up the entire bundle of all four. And I just go through the one, but because I'm going through so many different colors right now, I'm keeping them all together because I'm having to go through the different four cards. When I was just doing the white this morning, oh come on, it's all fuzzy, so it doesn't want to go through. When I was just doing the white this morning, I had that one particular card set aside because I had to put some more white on it this morning as well. So I was just had that one aside so that I could just pull it, grab a new strand, and go. think because the amount of fuzz on this one, it just doesn't want to go through the eye of the needle. There we go. Usually I don't have that much trouble. Oh, I hit the camera, sorry. Let's see, so we're going to do, what the, oh, that's a tail. So I think we've got 1, 2, 3, it's right here. Come on. There. Come on, there we go. This is like the crossbars of the window in the background. Trying to feel and just go through the underlying stitches, not into the fabric itself. There was one time that I think I actually went into the fabric because it got a little bit too tight. I actually started trying that after I heard Gemma on Gemma Stitches say that, you know, how she learned to start and end her stitches from the front. And that she can just, over the years, she has picked up the ability to feel when she has caught enough stitches. So I started trying it, and she's right. You know, you can feel based on the amount of resistance if you've picked up enough stitches or not. Actually, this one's thinner. I think that one's a 38. Yeah, that one's a 38 needle. Interesting. Okay. 38. Okay. Pull this a little taut. See if I can. Oh, it's going to fight. Okay, hold on. Let me move the rest of these out of the way. There we go. We're just all getting caught up on each other. You know, I watched the Stitching Masterpieces where she was improving her organizer that I took that inspiration on to make one myself. And, you know, she does hers differently. You know, I made mine a little bit thinner per se, but she has, it's like she takes what I have and then she tapes it to a different folded set of paper is what she sews her felt on. But that gives her a much more, I wouldn't say firm, but it gives her a where am I? Oh, I've got stitches in there. So it gives her more how would you put it? More paper, basically. And so she took paper clips, large paper clips, that she then puts those skeins on. And she holds them that way. And I don't think that would work for my setup, because that would mean I'd have to have what I have on some type of other backing, maybe? I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how that would work. She said that she was looking, before she put that out, that she was looking at adjusting her organizer, because she has the same problem. That when she pulls on one strand, sometimes it just bunches up. And since she has everything in bags, and they're all taped together, and so she has that full DMC set, as I said. It becomes more of a problem for her, because she can't just reach in and pull it out. At least not easily. And it's one of the reasons why I haven't set up an organizer like she has, with that full bag setup, because I inevitably get the tangles that I have to pull out. Now, tangles is probably the wrong term, but 3. But I do like it. I like having individual needles rather than having to use one needle and rethread it all the time. I can just literally pick up a needle and go. Or I can be watching a video, listening to a video, and then be going through and putting floss on needles and setting them in there to be ready to go. So that when I sit down to stitch, or I set up my stitching more appropriately, because I'm almost always in here. I work in here, I have all of my creative stuff in here. So, yeah, it just makes it easy to just pick it up and go. I'm on the complete other side of this page. Oh. Yeah, the page line is literally right there. I just crossed the page line with that stitch. Oh well. I'm stitching into the next page. Check my... I always find it interesting how we see color in the fact that this is supposed to be a purple dragon, right? And there's so much blue in it. Yeah, there's a few purple highlights here, but you know, when I was looking at the color list originally, I'm like, why is there so much blue and white in this? And it's like, well, when I looked at the actual mock-up, it was like, yeah, there has to be because of your highlights. The highlights are going to make things bluish. And then the shadows are going to make things much more dark purple. That's funny. Oh, I have this one stitch way out here. Oh. Alright, I'll put it in. Okay. 3, 3. I think that my camera, because I left the brightness on auto, I think my camera is trying to make things, trying to adjust the lighting as I stitch, so I apologize if that is. Oop, I just set those to be frogged. That's not what I wanted. There we go. I apologize if it was getting frustrating for anybody. Yeah, I guess I will come over here and do these 2. And then I'll go ahead and cut it off. Pin it off, stop it right there. So I got one stitch left at this block here. And then I have about 4 or 5 other colors. Yeah. Oh, what was that color that I was just doing? 38, because I gotta put the needle in. Okay. So I think I'll do these next stitches and then I will take a break because I've been stitching for a couple of hours now. Let's see, 7:28. No, that's the number 28 needle. Come on. Getting caught up on stuff. All right. 28, come on. So now I chose one that just does not want to pull at all. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Sorry. Separate all the cards because yeah, all of it is getting bunched up in the back here. There we go. Once I pulled it out a little bit, it pulled easier. Come on. Now we're up here. And no, went way too far high. Yeah, I'm right here. There we go. Going everywhere but the hole that I needed to go into. Come on, there we go. Alright. So that is those done. Yeah, I told my husband if it didn't ache so much, I could probably sit here and stitch most of the day yesterday. But it just started to ache after I sat here for so long that I had to get up and move around for a while. You know, how we get into the zone and just not feel it until we've overdone it. Okay, so that makes about 150 something stitches that I've done today on camera. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Positive energies to those that need it, healing energies to those that need it, and happy stitching.